Hello friends, welcome to Study IQ. Today we are going to talk about a very interesting discussion. An article appeared where it suggested that the recent farm protests that are going on in India, it has put the Modi government and especially the Modi brand of politics in some sort of confusion. There is a quandary where the unity which was there between the two middle classes, now there is some sort of differentiation between these two middle classes, which has put a question mark over the Modi government. So we are going to talk about the farm protest and how exactly it has put the Modi brand of politics in question. That would be the domain of our discussion in this particular video. So let us begin. But before that, I am your friend Rahul Saigaonkar. If you want to follow me, you can follow me on the ID Rahul Sai 222. My Instagram, Facebook and Telegram channel ID is same. On this Telegram channel, you will get the updates of my video along with the PDFs of this presentation. Study IQ has brought a good news for you. We have a comprehensive prelims cum mains program for you for UPSC 2021. For more information, please download the app from Google Play Store. And don't forget to hit the bell icon and subscribe to Study IQ. Right, let's first talk about the background. Very quickly, I'll take you through this. We all know that in June 2020, the Modi government had brought 3 agricultural ordinances. And as soon as the ordinances were brought, the farmers started protest. They alleged that in the name of the reforms, the Modi government was planning to discontinue especially the MSP regime. And in the monsoon session in 2020, the Modi government introduced these ordinances as bills in the parliament and they got them passed and they have got presidential assent too. Let's talk about the bills first. The first bill that is a bone of contention between the government and the farmers is the Farmers Produce Trade and Commerce Promotion and Facilitation Act 2020. Apart from that, there is one more act known as Farmers Empowerment and Protection Agreement on Price Assurance and Farm Services Act 2020. And an amendment was done to the Essential Commodities Act. And the Modi government's argument for this was that it is going to create a farmer-friendly as well as a trader-friendly environment in India. But as soon as these acts were passed, we see that there has been a protest all over India, especially in the northern regions. In Delhi, there is a lot of protest going on. They are calling for repealing these laws. The farmers' argument is that, or I would say the farmers' fear is that the new farm bills, they do not guarantee any MSP. They believe that the MSP regime is going to end soon. This is the beginning of the end of MSP. So end of subsidies for farmers. The center has replied that there is no connection with the MSP. Despite the center's assurances, we know that the protests have been going on for a very long time now. And this has put the question mark over the Modi governments, or specifically when we talk about here, the Modi brand of politics. It has put the Modi government in a quandary. Now let's try to understand how exactly the Modi government came to power and on basis of support of which people it did come to power, and now what is happening with those people. Now, if we look at the rise of Modi or the Modi government in 2014 especially, how did it rise into power and how did it continue in 2019? We can explain the meteoric rise of Modi government through 3 parameters. First one is cultural essentialism, which is a part and parcel of Modi brand of politics. We all know the Hindu cultural superiority is something which is a part and parcel of the BJP brand politics, and it has always been right from 1980s. Apart from that, there is political majoritarianism, obviously, which is a part and parcel of the Modi brand of politics. Apart from that, the biggest factor for the rise of Modi government was the economic aspirations of the Indians. We all know that in 2008 a recession came, and then in 2013 a mini recession did happen in European Union, and the economic problems, they were at the forefront of discussion, and the UPA too was also plagued with corruption. So economic aspiration was one of the part and parcel because of which the Modi government did come to power. We all know that. But it came to power on the support of majority. But what majority? Majority is the middle class. Now when we look at the middle class in India, political experts divide this middle class into 2 parts. One is the traditional middle class, one is the neo middle class. Let's talk about these. The traditional middle class is the middle class which started its rise in 1990, especially after the LPG reforms. And this traditional middle class, I would name them as upper middle class also, the ones who are well versed with the English news channels, and they are more and more opinionated on social media, right? Now this middle class is strong with beliefs. There is a common parameter between these two also. But the neo middle class is the middle class which has just come out of poverty, and they are not socially opinionated on the social media, I would say, and rather they are the followers of some sort of ideology. And the Modi government, it came to power with the unity of this particular middle class. That means the upper middle class, and I would say the neo middle class, both. And it has been agreed by Christophe Jaffrelot. Now, Christophe Jaffrelot, he said that in 2014, the neo middle class, especially the middle class which just came out of poverty, that was at the forefront, or I would say that was the backbone of the support of the Modi government. And in 2014, he came to power, and in 2019, he did repeat. So the brilliance of Modi government till today was that it was able to fuse the traditional middle class as well as the neo middle class together, which was the base of his support. But right now, with the farmers' protest, there is some sort of divide which has taken place between this middle class. The middle class unity is broken right now. Now, if we look at what exactly has happened, the traditional middle class, they say okay for the reforms, because for them, economic aspiration is still very, very high. Right? And they do not rely too much on the government support. In general, I wouldn't say that they do not rely completely on the subsidies, but they do not rely on subsidies too much. On the other hand, the neo middle class, which just came out of poverty, they are completely against these farm bills, which is a problem. And if we look at the numbers, this traditional middle class, among this middle class category, is minority, and the majority is the neo middle class. And this majority neo middle class, it opposes the farm bill. In fact, it has got support from their own wings also. For example, the RSS farm wing, it does not support the changes that have been brought by the government. Quite strange, right? So this middle class unity, it has got fractured right now, and that has put the Modi government in a huge quandary. Now, what options are there in front of the government? Now, the government has three options. Will the government succeed? We do not know, but it does have three options. The first one is the option of failure. For example, the protests are going to continue and the government might relent to the pressure by the farmers and eventually recall the reforms. Now, that would be a loss of face for the government, and I would say that would be loss of face of the chest-thumping Modi brand of politics also, right? But the next option for them is to stand firm. So on one side, back down, but that would not be a face-saving solution. On the other side, stand firm, like what Margaret Thatcher did during the 1980s when there was a slew of union labor protest in Britain. We all know that in 1980s, neoliberalism was on the rise, and Margaret Thatcher, she gave a TINA factor. There is no alternative apart from the neoliberal policies. And she brought the neoliberal policies in UK, which was protested by the labor unions. But she stood firm. Eventually, she got the reforms and they did give good results also. This increased her popularity. So there is a possibility that if Modi stands firm on his decision of reforms and if it yields good results, then Modi's popularity will see an exponential rise again, and probably in 2024 again another term might be in the offing. There is another third option. If the protest goes on, then they can tire out the protesters and go for a face-saving compromise. Now, this has been a policy of almost all the governments. Now, if we talk about Gandhi, we have seen that Gandhi, he carried out the non-cooperation movement, he carried out the civil disobedience movement, all the other movements, and he went for a struggle, truce, struggle policy. Meaning, he knew that the people do not have unlimited capacity of sacrificing or protesting. Now, there will come a point when these people will tire out and then eventually go for a compromise. If you talk about history, the civil disobedience movement is nothing but a face-saving compromise by the British government. The Gandhi-Irwin Pact, it was like a win-win situation for both, although more and more popularity with Congress did come and the British government did learn from that. A similar kind of policy can be followed here also, where they can simply tire out the protesters and go for a face-saving option. But as of now, the farm protests are on peak. We do not know what would be the outcome. There are discussions going on between the farmer groups and the government. Only time will tell which option will the government go for. So stay tuned and watch for the updates on Study IQ. That's it from my side on this part of discussion. Thank you very much. Jai Hind.